In this video, we're going to go over working with functions other than the 5 basic ones that we learned previously. What we have here is a basic family budget, and we're going to take a look at their income and expenses, and then look at 2 possible mortgage plans. This particular family is actually looking to purchase a home. To start with, down here in C20, what we have is the monthly values for these 2 folks. And the first thing we want to do is just review those basic functions. We want to sum their total pay, so I'm going to go to Auto Sum up here and choose Sum. And it did highlight the correct area, so make sure it does C18 through C19, and we're going to hit Enter. And once again, what we can do is click and drag our formula over to each of the months that you see there. I'm then going to come down, and under Total, I want to total our expenses. So the same thing is going to apply. I'm going to come up here to Sum. This time it did include the correct area. And once again, I'm going to copy that over. And finally, we want to know what's going to be left after they have paid all of their bills. So we're going to click in C28. Remember, all formulas start with an equal symbol. And we're going to take our expenses, and we are going to, take our income, and we're going to subtract our expenses. And then we're going to copy that over. Now, notice that these 2 values are in parentheses. That's because they are negative numbers. And one of the best ways to demonstrate negative numbers is to have them show up in red. So I'm going to highlight that entire column. And I'm going to click right up here on my dialog box for numbers. And this is going to be a number. And down here, I want negative numbers to be shown in red, and click OK. And now you'll notice that it indicates in those 2 months they went over their monthly budget. Now, in this particular area, what we're going to do is work with some of our functions to kind of give a summary of the whole year. So what the first thing we want to find out is Sir J's, what their sum of all of their pay was. So we're going to go to our Auto Sum, and I'm going to come down here and highlight all 12 months for Sergey and hit Enter. And I can then just copy that formula down for Ava. And I can repeat this process for average. Average pay for Sergey, I'm going to highlight that and hit Enter. I can do the same thing for maximum. Highlight the area. And minimum. Then, just to make it easy, I can highlight all 3, bottom right-hand corner, and copy those formulas down there. And then we'll repeat that same process for our taxes. We're going to sum, and average, maximum, and finally minimum. And then once again, I'm going to copy those down here. Okay, all I have left is the total. So I'm going to come here and sum. And I'm going to copy that over. And I'm going to come down here and do the same thing. But this time I need to be careful, make sure it just highlights my expenses. And I can copy that over. And finally, our net cash flow. All formulas start with an equals. We're going to have our total subtracted from our expenses. And then we can kind of copy that on over as well. Now, after we've gotten this information in, what we're going to do is take a look at mortgage payments. Now, this is a little more complicated function. First off, our first mortgage plan that we're going to look at has an interest rate of 6.7%. So I'm going to type in 6.7%. And our interest rate at this point is going to be compounded 12 times because we're doing it for a monthly payment. And so what we need to come up with is our monthly rate. And so we're going to create a formula that's going to divide the annual rate, hit our division symbol, by the number of payments. I'm going to hit enter, and that is our monthly rate. This is going to be a 30-year mortgage. So to find out the total number of payments, that's going to be another formula, and that is the number of years times 12 months in a year. And the mortgage that we're looking for, we're looking to borrow $315,000. Now, how do we figure the monthly payment? This is one of those functions that most folks easily in their head could not come up with the math to do that. And so the easiest way to do that, we're going to click on our function button up here. And you'll notice that it's done by categories, and first off is the most recently used. But what we're going to do is we're going to click the down arrow and we're going to go to financial. And there are hundreds of functions in here, but the one that we want is payment, so it's PMT. So we're going to click on that and click OK. What that's going to give us is a dialog box that we need to figure out. And I'm going to move it down so that we can see all of our data. We want to know what our interest rate is going to be. So I'm going to click this icon that you see here, and then I'm going to click on our monthly rate. And then I'm going to click this icon to take us back to our wizard. We want to know the number of pay periods in our loan. So I'm going to click the icon again, number of payments, and go back. And then finally, what is the present value or the principal value of the loan? So I'm going to click this icon and choose the principal value. Now at this point, what I'm going to do, we need to make some changes here. Because our principal, we're actually borrowing money, this is actually a negative number. So in front of my J10, I need to put a negative symbol. And then I'm going to click OK. And our monthly payment is going to be $2,032.63 here. We're going to repeat this process for another loan here. This particular loan is also 6.7%. And this one's going to also be compounded for 12. So once again, to get the monthly rate, we're going to take our annual and divide it by the number of payments. And the number of years on this particular loan is going to be 20. And so to figure out the number of payments, we're going to say 20 times 12. And this particular loan we're looking at is $218,000. And so to repeat that process, we're going to go to our function, and we're going to scroll down to payment. And once again, we're going to click on our monthly rate. We're going to click on the number of pay periods and our present value. And once again, because we're borrowing money, we are currently at a negative amount, and we're going to click OK. And that's going to give us our monthly payment there.